savoring, discovering how to fully indulge in the present moment, savoring every experience, every morsel, and every breath, unlocking the deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, live your life. Get inspired and cherish moments with food, travel, cooking, the Mediterranean way.
Buona Domenica. Happy Sunday, everyone. How's everyone?
Oh, I'm coming.
Vieni qua.
Happy Sunday, everyone. This is our last episode of the year. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's come to that. We are actually heading down south. Actually, you know what I'm going to cover? We're going to be talking about empty nesters today. But first, I want to cover a few things before we do. So we're going to be heading down south, and that's where actually we're doing some filming for our Anita and Dario show, the more professional one than the live. I find this is more personal, though. I like doing the lives myself because then, and it's nice because we get to see you all. We had a wonderful time with our kids last night.
Yes. Well, yeah, we had an early time with them, and it was excellent. fun time with them.
Yeah. So we had an early dinner. We had a roast that was like this big. Very grand. I don't know if anyone's seen any of the videos that we've done. And Dario prepared everything in advance. Well, majority of the stuff. Like the vegetables and all of those.
Condiments, and everything. Yeah.
So it was really easy, and we had some time with the kids, and we had a really great time so that we could do Christmas early so that we could
take off.
Which kind of talks about the empty nesters, which we'll get into later too. Yeah. So it's going to be the last episode for the year, and we'll be back. I'm trying to think. I think it's the 7th, I think it is. But you'll see in the comments below on that.
It is the 7th, yeah.
Because we have lots of things that are going on for the new year. So we have our new ebook that's come out, which we're really excited about. So if you're interested, put in the comments below. Yes, if you're interested in the ebook. It's principles around the Mediterranean lifestyle that you can do from anywhere. And we're kind of excited about it. As I mentioned, we're doing some tapings for the Anita and Dario show for next year,
right?
Which are leading into a cooking show. So, but that won't be shown. I think we're still doing the lives for a while. That won't be shown until later in the year. So
it's exciting.
But the biggest thing that we're doing is we're offering a free 3-day event that's going to be epic. It's going to be around teaching you how to live more inspired, how to be more healthy, how to be more stress-free. And over those 3 days, we're going to have a different topic that we're going to talk about. You're going to look to yourself how you can change that for a healthier, happier, more inspired life for 2024.
Right. Yeah.
It's free and it's 3 days. It's going to start on January 8th. Yeah. I don't even think we have all the details of the page together. So if you're interested in this, put something in the below. What would we say? Like,
love to hear more.
Love to hear more. Yeah. And then we can send you the information on what you're going to get out of the 3 days. It's going to be, I think it's the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
That's right.
It's going to be at lunchtime. So those of you that are back to work, you can watch it during lunchtime.
You can watch the repeat if you don't have time. They can watch the recording.
Yeah. I like that. What do we call it? It's the replay warrior.
The replay warrior.
The replay warrior. So that if for some reason you can't watch it over those 3 days, there's going to be prizes. There's going to be things that we're going to be offering, plus great tips. And it's kind of like a jump start to the new year.
Right.
Most of the people, all ages really come to what we're doing.
Yeah, and we don't call it a New Year resolution, okay? Because I think you're inundated with New Year resolution. It's a new chapter or a new way of seeing the Mediterranean lifestyle for what it is. I think that's what it is. But it's not a resolution. You're not trying to resolve anything. You're trying to discover something different. Okay, which is exciting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Very exciting. I was just checking to see if we were on live. You continue talking for a second because
she wants me to talk. There we go. No, I mean the point of this 3 days is it's a part of us that wants to share our adventure and our discovering together the Mediterranean lifestyle, because that's what it's all about. I mean, obviously, myself, born and raised in Europe, in the Mediterranean, my understanding, it's natural, and but I almost, moving to North America, I almost followed through the mass, I say it. And now going back home, like we go back home every year or every second year, with Anita, I see my home in Italy with different eyes, because I'm seeing it through Anita's eyes. So as we develop this idea of the Mediterranean lifestyle, now we want to share it. And sharing is the most important thing. This simple thing that you can share to people. What we are talking today, it's more about being empty nester and what is the part on your life. We go through this, I call it the cycle of life. When you start, you have children. First of all, actually, you're starting your life. You discover yourself as a grown up, as a business person, as in your own field. Then you have children. Well, the children do not come with a manual. So now you build your own manual. Well, after so many years having or maybe creating this manual, now they're gone. And I mean, they're gone in a way because the life starts and they go through the same cycle potentially, or even better than you went through it. And now you have to figure out what's happening to yourself. And the most important thing is really start discovering more things with your partner. The things that you want to enjoy, the things you want to discover, the things you want to learn. And that is the part of the Mediterranean lifestyle that allows you to do that. Being a little more adventurous. It's some part of the principle there that we're going to talk about it. They're so fundamental. We talk to people sometimes and they're saying, oh my God, I discovered this new recipe. I'm dying to now do them at home and get a group of friends. And that's what it's all about. Really rediscovering, maybe sometimes we call it the inner chef. And you don't have to be a chef. I mean, chef is such a but really discovering things that they're more important to you. It's funny because I was talking to a very good friend of us this summer, and they're in their mid-70s, and they said, Dario, we used to go always to the restaurant every single time. What we learn is to kind of start developing our own pantry.
Oh.
And I said,
our own pantry.
I said, that's interesting. And it says, yeah, we have our own vegetable. We develop the vegetable that we like. Because that's the other thing, vegetable that we like. And then we do our preserve, we do our things, and then we create our own recipe. So when our friends come over, it's exciting because we showcase our product. And that's an adventure. That's a convivial part of really building where you are. But they never had time before because, we kids, we all know sports, activity, this and that. And you're learning something. So I thought it was quite exciting to know about that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. So we're getting into the empty nester part then, I gather.
Yes.
For some reason, I've gone into the group and it doesn't show us live there. So I don't know. And yet on everything here, it says that we are. So if for some reason, I will forward this to everybody so they're going to be able to see it. We've actually streamed it to a few other places today because it's our last one of the year. And we want to be able to say Happy New Year to everyone and to say, Happy Holidays to everybody as well. So today's topic is on empty nesting. And to me, it's such a transition in life. Mind you, we've had the kids come back and go out and stuff, but still it's a whole different way of thinking.
Right.
It's a different way of thinking because, normally you went, as Dario mentioned, to all the sports, you were taking care of the kids, and then they move in as adults and they more or less have their own way of doing things. So you're not as strapped. Now, many people, they think of it as a sad thing, and it is a sad thing when the kids leave because you've put so much of your life to it. But that's when you've got to think of that mindset switch to think, okay, now is time to reinvent something.
That's right.
That's going to be different. How am I going to do something that's going to be more fun? What stage of life am I in? What can I do to add things to my life? How can I change things so that I'm not sad all the time. I've seen many groups out there and everyone is talking about, I can't get into bed, I can't be doing this. And yes, it is sad the kids are gone, and it is a hard thing to be hit with. We know, because we've had to take them off to university, they've gone off to live in different places, and you are with the kids in a different way, but it's a way of reinventing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I love to think of it. We have friends of ours that don't even have kids.
Yeah.
But they've reinvented themselves and say, okay, what do I want? And what do I want to do that's going to be fun? For us, it's doing things together, it's
That's
cooking together and traveling together. But what is it that you enjoy to do? And then being able to have that opportunity. So it's a mindset switch to how can we create things different? How can we add some joy into our lives and to the next chapter of what our life is? Of course, you're still going to be there for the kids. But it's also not to feel guilty, because a lot of times when people make that transition to an empty nester, they're thinking, oh, I need to be doing more of this for the kids, or I need to be doing this. That might be what you want. Right. It might be what you want and what your purpose is and what brings you forward, but we've done it, and we've seen other people do it that kind of have that balance to what it is. You spend the time with the kids, you see them in a different way, and then you reinvent yourself. You create something different. And, Dario and I, we've known each other for 20 something years and 10 years, but let's say you've been married for 30 years, there is something there, that spark that you can bring back, that sparkle.
That's important. That's super important.
That can do that. And that's what this 3-day program that we're doing next January is about as well, is bringing that spark back, finding that purpose, finding how you want to create the rest of your life.
That is exactly it. It's a spark, because it's 3 days, it's free, but it's an opportunity exactly to create that spark. I don't want to say we all kind of lose a bit of spark, but at some point in our life we tends to kind of fall off the track, and we want to just find a way to kind of get back in whatever way, in which way then you choose to. It doesn't really matter. Our way could be different than everybody else, but that's where you found your flock. That's where you found the people that you resonated with you, and you're trying to build this kind of a community of people like-minded like yourself. And there is many. Trust me, there is so many people, and they are now turning on their sparkle life, or they reinvent themselves into so many ways, and it's so exciting. And we meet them all the time. Last year in our travel, we met the most interesting people. And sometimes traveling will allow yourself to become curious. You engage yourself in so many amazing adventures.
Yeah. So, with this next year, we're going to be bringing communities together.
That's right.
And groups together, and finding ways to be inspired, to be healthy with, the recipes that we have, and the Mediterranean way of eating, not a diet, and stress-free ways, and bringing more fun to your life again. And that's what life is about. There's so many people I've spoken to, and they get home after a busy day. They are uninspired. They're tired. They're just plopping them in front of the TV. They grab this
and they just
right, as opposed to actually getting that energy to go and do something fun, or getting that energy to sit down and talk with your family or your friends or your loved ones, or whatever that might be in your life. It's saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to go out to so-and-so's event. I'm going to go, and even this afternoon, we're saying, okay, let's do something fun today.
Yeah.
Balancing your life, right? So that you can enjoy those things in life. And that's what it's all about. And that's what the community is that we're creating next year. And we got an event at the end of the year that's going to be exciting.
Right. Yeah.
There's so many great things that are going to be happening. But as an empty nester, that we're talking to specifically now, it's creating how you want to do things, not feeling that guilt of, oh, I need to be there for them. I need to make sure to do that. Yes, it's important for your children to support them, but they're adults now, and they're moving on, and it's important to find that right spot that's for you. That's the biggest thing. the right spot this for you. What's the smirk on your face for?
I think about quality. Think about it's funny because when the kids go away, you really are sad. I go back the first time my oldest son actually went to junior kindergarten. I was devastated because you're used to have him there, and all of a sudden it's just this kind of a detachment and
we met each other that day.
That's right. And
what would that be now? 24 years ago?
24
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah. And I remember saying, "Oh my God, I'm letting him go to the wolves."
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. And I think right now, he's a grown man. He does his own thing. How proud I am of that journey, And this is something that you should be honor every single day and proud of it, and support them on whatever they want to do. So the time you spend with them has to be quality, and then let them do their things. They're gonna have the other side of the family, so you have to respect that. They're gonna have their own.
The dynamics definitely change.
The dynamic has changed. So,
yeah.
But what Anita said is so important. Change your mindset, create that spark, and create that community. And what I'm bringing back here is our retreats.
Yeah, that's true.
And our retreats are some people then, actually there was a couple that their son was just moving into kind of a full-time schooling, and he was kind of getting out of the house. And what we do, our first dinner together at the big table, we talk about each other.
Yeah.
And I could see the emotion.
It's so much fun.
The emotion, and by and after a while, as they talking to other people like us, they feel energized because there is that community of people that says, "You know what? Yeah, we went through that. I know exactly how it feels."
I remember bawling my eyes out.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I cried for days when the kids left.
But what am I going to learn now?
Yeah.
Well, let's get out. Let's find out things. If I love food, okay, let's find out the producer. Then I can engage with them, for my health. Remember, we're talking about health.
It's a nice hobby to have, right? If you're thinking of a hobby, healthy eating and getting balance is a really good hobby.
Because you're building that community with your provider, with your vegetable person, your fishmonger, your butcher, your produce department.
Yeah.
All those little things, because it is part of a community. Because they say, "Hey, Dario, you know what I got this week? I got this wonderful thing. Do you want to use it? Interesting. I've never done it.
Yeah.
Well, you can do this, and that." That where the community in the Mediterranean is like that.
Mm-hmm.
I am pretty sure in every town you are in Canada, in the US, or in any part of the world, there is a market.
Yeah.
There is a farmer's market. And on the farmer market, that's where the community are built.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think we need to allow ourselves and develop this little recipe. I mean, in our website, we have recipe, then they're toggle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, we're going to talk about now the one thing that we wanted to discuss was empty nesters. How do you cook for yourself? Because you're used to cooking for so many in the family. How do you now all of a sudden scale that down? So for me, I think the number one tip, and I get into the meal planning and all of that in our site. I've actually got a chart that talks about how to plan your meals and what to do. And we talk about cooking together and how important it is, but it doesn't have to be every night. And the perfect thing is to pick 2 or 3 nights and cook together and make a whole bunch of meals.
Absolutely.
To me, that's
a community
ideal.
Yeah.
And even if you can get together with friends and make a bunch of dishes together. I remember Cookie Exchange. I remember Casserole Exchange, how great it was. And then you bring your little glass containers. I don't know, I was going to bring a glass container, but I don't have one. But, glass container is always the best to be able to store things in. Get them for small sizes. It's not a diet and portion control. It could be, but really what it is having that meal available for you, for the 2 of you. And how perfect is that you get home, you sit, you have dinner together. Dinner together is sort of...
It's very important.
It's really important. Spend that time cooking together, make a whole bunch of meals in advance. So to me, that's the number one tip, to really make in bulk, join in with other friends, try different dishes. How fun is that, right? Because you get kind of stuck in the same type of things,
Right.
the same kind of meals. I did that a lot with the kids when I was working. So
Right.
I would plan on Sundays that I would cook, for 5 days of the week, and then I had the 2 days that would sort of be that I would have to cook and
That's right.
and do it. And it wasn't have to cook. I enjoyed cooking, but a lot of it was on my own with the kids before I met Dario. But it still was good to get in there and try different things. So to me, that is a huge, huge thing: is to get yourself organized,
Yeah.
make meals for two in advance, cook that together, freeze some of it, and then you have stuff that's available for you.
And prime example is it's what we done this weekend. For example, I mean,
Yeah.
we really wanted to spend the time. Well, last night we wanted to spend it with the kids. So I mean, if you are on the stove all the time and doing that, it's not going to work. So we prep ourselves. We have a program where it's 12 days before Christmas. You prep of what to do until the day,
Yeah.
and we actually create, each week by week, what you can do, but by the time you get to the big day.
Mhm.
And because I know it's stressful for many people, and it should not be stressful. We talk about it. If it's
Mhm.
stressful, don't do it. And even during the week, I mean, if you prep, like Anita's saying, you allow yourself to really spend quality time.
I think it's also getting the music going.
Yeah.
Like I love the new Beckham thing. I love that music.
Oh, Oh, yes.
Remember? It's so great getting in the kitchen and cooking and create some fun about it, like organize something. I usually have one station that I cook at. Dara cooks another station. We kind of, work around and it's just a lot of fun. It really is. It's a lot of fun to cook together. So to be able to do that is phenomenal. So that's number one, is plan in advance, make meals for two, and do it that way. And number two, the tip number two is our website and our recipes. We actually have it created, and Dario had mentioned a little bit earlier, was you can actually toggle from 2 people to 20 people.
Yeah.
So that recipe that's in our website, you just go down to 2 people and you click it. You can put imperial or you can put metric, depending on what you're wanting. You have the video, and it gives you the actual recipe for 2. So you can scale down if that's what you're wanting to do. If you're going to have a special date night that you want to do and you want to try one of our recipes that we have online, it's ideal.
And it's simple. It really is not complicated. I mean,
it's getting out of this.
Yeah, exactly.
And creating fun around it, because people now think that cooking is a chore. And it's not. If you make it fun, and it not only does it bring you closer together, it's much healthier for you, because now you've created meals that are natural. It's not pre-made.
Mm-hmm.
You've created that quality time together. That's so important.
And again, it's about the community. The community, this week I went to visit 2 young students of mine, actually. Then they own a very successful bakery. And talk about community. So they have a bakery that is, it's just taking off. It's called Bartholomew. It's in Vaughan, north side of Toronto here. Every single person that was walking into their place,
Mm-hmm.
they knew each other. They were talking what they were going to do. It was always about changing idea. Even for grab a coffee, they probably have one of the best coffee. But the biggest thing is their sourdough bread, their croissant, and it's absolutely unbelievable. But one of the biggest things, they also said themselves, and this is 31, 32 years old, young men, then they're quite successful.
Ex-students of yours.
Ex-students.
Yeah.
Then when they started the business, they were working so hard to creating wholesale business. So all restaurants and hotels wanted their product because the quality was very good. And they said, you know what, we were losing time with our family.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, we don't need that. We wanted to connect more to the consumer, meaning the people that actually are interested in creating new things. So what they did, stop wholesale, only retail business. So people come in, grab a coffee. Hey, how are you? Oh my God, I love this bread. What can I do with this? Oh, can you order me? I felt like I was going back the way my grandmother used to think. Because my grandmother used to call the baker and said, okay, for tomorrow, I'm going to need a dozen of this, or 2 of this, or that. That was exactly what was happening. And I said, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
And these both people have young family. By 3 o'clock, they go home and spend time with their family. And they still have time for the love and for what is important to them.
But that's what I do in my business.
That's
So
right.
that's what we call it: eat, work, play the Mediterranean way.
That's right.
Because as a business coach, my programs that are coming out next year are talking about scaling, which is making and growing your business,
That's right.
and simplicity.
That's it.
And if you go back into there, you'll see how we've created that, and I've created that over the life of my business. You know, how we could travel for 2 years. How did we make money? How can you still run a business?
Yeah.
And changing your life and your ebb and flow about how you're doing it. So it's a prime example
Absolutely.
of what I do with my clients in my business.
Yeah.
That helps them, and that's why we call it eat, work, play the
The
Mediterranean
Mediterranean
way,
way.
because it's that shift. Everything starts with this, and how am I going to create my life? What am I going to do? And that's where the magic begins.
This is it. I mean, and again, what you do, you build in a community.
Yeah.
You know, now you have your bread supplier.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing with the vegetable, but really understanding what is important, and with them, they just create them.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Are we saying goodbye already?
Yeah, we are. Well, we're trying to keep it to 20 minutes, and we're
20?
almost 30.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
It's a 5 minutes bonus.
We hate saying goodbye.
Is the 5 minutes Christmas bonus? That's what we say.
So I guess what we want to talk about is just if you're interested in the 3-day event,
Yes.
you're going to be seeing more of that coming up, but be the first in there because there's actually a fast action bonus.
Yeah.
If you, for the first 10 people that sign up, I think it is.
10 people, yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. It's free, 3 days. It's at noon, 8th, 9th, and 10th, and then you can watch the replays. Once you go in, there's chances for bonuses. There's so many great things. We want to say happy holidays to everybody. We have our ebook if you're interested as well. Lots of fun things going on.
The ebook is quite cool.
And we're going to see you on the other side. You know, when we're down there, we're not going to have as much equipment and things, but because we'll be traveling, but it's going to be exciting.
But the most important thing is we're going to share great ideas and great tips for your future, that's what it's all about.
So most of it will be in the Facebook group, Inspired Mediterranean Lifestyle, I think it is, or Inspiring Mediterranean Lifestyle, for those of you that are in there. Today I put it to more places, so I'm not too sure if you're going to see it elsewhere, but that's where all the fun is going to happen. So come on over to that Facebook group, or put in there yes below, and we will email you the details on the sales page. Is the best way to do it. And we're just going to say
Buon Natale.
Buon Natale, happy holidays. We want to make sure that we cover all our bases to everybody.
Buone feste. I'm keeping it clear and simple. Happy holiday to everyone, and the most important thing is enjoy those holidays. A presto.
Ciao, everybody.
Big hug to everyone. Ciao, ciao.